at some point in time left Berlin. And I know there was a story about all of you leaving Berlin in a certain vehicle, and then all going to the orphanage. Now, had to be a traumatic time in your life. I'd like to talk just a little bit about the orphanage years when you first got there, and I mean, in a strange place with people you didn't know, not knowing what to expect. And I know this is kind of a personal thing to talk about, but I think it's an important thing to talk about. I'd like to have, if you can recall that time, what were you thinking?
I think we all adapted to it real quickly because our dad had said to us, you're going into a home and that's where you're going to stay until you're of age to leave. We just took it upon us that, I mean, you know, that was going to be our home. I mean, none of us, I don't think, ever regretted being there. We enjoyed our days at the orphanage. The nuns were good to us, especially Sister Blondin.
Yeah.
She took us under her
Sister
wing.
Amy.
And Sister Amy
Yeah.
took us under their wings, and I mean, were very good to us. I can't say the same about a lot of other nuns,
Yeah.
but you forget about that.
Yeah.
You go with the good.
Yeah.
And I mean, they gave us a place to live, they fed us, they took care of us if we were sick. I mean, the only thing you didn't get over there is you didn't have any love.
Right. No hugs.
You know, no love
No
whatsoever.
hugs.
They
No
can't,
hugs.
they can't give love to 60 people,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So, I mean, it was a good place to stay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a very good place, and they always treated us more than any other kid.
No, they took us under their shield.
Yeah.
And protected us more than other kids.
Yeah.
Okay, because the superior that was there took pity on all of us, okay, and wanted us to succeed in life. Sister Blondin always used to say, I want that family to succeed. They're alone.
Yeah.
We've got to take care of them. I think what was difficult was the separation of the boys and the girls. We were so, as a family, and all of a sudden, I know that Teresa suffered a lot of that because
Yeah.
with the babies, where Janine was still a baby, and Robert was still a baby, and Teresa wanted to keep the boy with Janine on the girl's side.
She wanted to keep Uncle Bob.
Yeah, because he was
The two
small.
youngest ones
And he was
wanted them together.
And she wanted to take care of them.
Yeah.
But that was not the idea of the sisters, because they had to get used to that environment, okay? And this is where Teresa got a little bit, again, aggravated, okay, because she wasn't granted that. Because Janine had to follow the group of the babies, and Robert had to be with the boys, okay? If you remember that.
Yeah, I remember that right.
No.
That was a hardship, I think, whenever we separated.
Yeah.
But as far as the living at the orphanage, I don't think we missed anything.
No, we didn't. In fact, we got more over there than we did in
Yes,
our own home.
that's it, much more.
Yeah, a lot more.
The
And
only
more
thing
so
I-
that we also had Mrs. Spalding,
Yeah.
that Sister Blondin got her interested into us, okay? So that helped us because she used to come every 6 months. Mrs. Spalding used to come at the orphanage to see, because she used to give money to the orphanage. And naturally, we were the talk of the town, was a
Yeah.
caring family. And she always used to show us all together, and she used to see us grow up. And when I graduated from high school, naturally, she had known Teresa because she had paid Teresa's expenses at the hospital.
But she had had
She had appendix.
appendix taken, and Mrs. Paulding paid for that.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
naturally,
Yeah.
and she needed someone to help her with, because Virginia had 2 kids. So she asked Sister Blondin, who would she have? And Sister Blondin said, well, she says, Florence has just graduated and she has nothing to do. So she took me under her wings, and I used to go to Cape Cod with her, and all summer. And
And get all dressed up.
oh yes, they used to dress me up. the store, I don't remember, Macy from Boston used to come down to
She was
Rochester.
the governor.
And
Of the
with
kids.
a whole rack of all kinds of clothes, and they used to dress me up as a doll.
Oh, yeah, because I got all her
Yeah.
clothes after.
Yeah. And the jewelry that went with it and everything. So I was dressed up there every summer.
I want to ask,
And paid.
I want to ask a couple of the younger siblings, Uncle Bob and Aunt Janine. Do you remember those, not the first years, but do you remember times at the orphanage?
Well, I was just talking with Florence, and I don't remember the orphanage till I was maybe in the 3rd grade.
Okay?
Because
So
I
you were
remember the
probably,
team.
what, in the 3rd grade, 9
Well,
years
6
old?
or
or
8, no, eight,
Yeah,
eight,
8 or 9.
8, 9 years
yeah,
old?
Yeah, in the 3rd grade.
Yeah,
Now, I started when I was 6 years old.
yeah, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, yeah.
But anyway, no, I remember from the 3rd grade on.
Yep.
Yeah. I always liked the orphanage. You know,
You recall the nuns treating you
Oh,
fairly?
I couldn't ask for better.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my home. I was
Yeah.
there 12 years. See, I was there the longest.
So you almost had a better home at the orphanage
Yeah,
than
we did.
seeing your father come up. You were too young to see that, but hearing from your brothers and sisters, maybe a little bit. I don't know how much the family talked about the father when you were at the orphanage.
The father came and seen us, we were
Twice.
there,
That I remember.
yeah, twice, that's
Twice,
it.
Yeah.
And every time he came, he was stone drunk.
Oh, really?
I was so ashamed
Yeah.
of
He
being
was.
seen in the
You're
power.
saying yes, he was.
Yeah, drunk all
Yeah,
day.
But, see, and it was better for me to be at the orphanage.
Yeah.
You know, they all moved on because they were older,
Right.
and the boys had to take off, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was there 12 years,
Yeah.
and that was the best place. That was my home.
Yeah, well, you knew nothing else
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that.
How about you, Uncle Bob?
Well, I don't remember much from the orphanage, but at 5 years old, I started going over to Mrs. Tewar's on weekends. And at 7 years old, I stayed there all the time. About the only thing that I did not like about the orphanage, that really upset me, was the boxing ring. That right there, because they had put, when I was just a little kid, they had put gloves on me and made a boxing ring and told me to go in there and fight with the other kid. Well, I didn't like that, so I just started crying and screaming and yelling, and the fight was all over with, okay?
Yeah.
But other than that, okay, I don't remember too much about the
Don't
orphanage.
remember too
Now,
much.
you went to a couple of homes.
I stayed at the orphanage after that.
Yeah, we felt secured in that place.
Yeah, it was home.
Yeah.
That's right. And it was home for the longest for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, Janine, someone had come in from Springvale, Maine?
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
It's a
A relative, they were relative of ours.
relative of ours came to the orphanage, I remember. And they wanted to take Janine and me.
Told me to marry him because he's gonna be a very, very good man to you. And I mean, and she was right.
Yeah.
You know, really at that time, you really had no one else to go to.
No, that was, like we say, it was our
That
home.
was your home.
And you know, she was the spirit and she had taken us under her wings.
Yeah.
And I mean, I felt